Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kennedy. How are you? How are you doing? Click that subscribe button down below to join our fam and turn your post notifications on. I can't speak. If you know anything about my channel, you know that this is the season in which I, como se dice, thrive. I kind of am known for my boarding school videos on YouTube. And even though y'all are making me a school YouTuber, it's okay. If that's the brand that has been chosen for me, then that's the brand that I'll run with. But yeah, it is my senior year in high school and boarding school, and I have 9 months to get all the boarding school content I can out of my system before it is no longer applicable to my brand and I must find a new brand for myself. So one video that you guys have been asking of me is to do a what to pack to boarding school college video, because they're kind of the same thing when it comes to packing. And actually I did this video last summer in August, and right now I think it has how many views? Oh, it has 2,135 views right now, which is kind of good. It's one of my most popular videos, and I just, looking back on the video, I was like, okay, there are some more things that I can talk about, and some of you guys have been wanting an updated version of that. So this is part 2. That's part 2 of what to bring or what to pack to boarding school / college. For right now, I would say that you should bring a whiteboard or some type of whiteboard calendar. I prefer a calendar for each day of the week that is also dry erase. So you're gonna have a planner, right? But sometimes I just need to visualize, I need to visually see something in front of me. So what I did with this is every study hall, I would come to my desk and I'd be working on my work, but I would also do a little to-do list for that night, everything I wanted to get done for that night. And that was it was just way more helpful for me to, hold on y'all, let's just chat. It was just way more helpful for me to write it kind of bigger on a dry erase board than just only having it in my planner. So I would recommend having some type of whiteboard dry erase calendar thing. Okay, next I would recommend color changing lights. And this might not seem like a true requirement for school, but trust me, last year I said I recommend having fairy lights, but now I honestly have both. I had both last year in my dorm, and they serve different purposes. So the color changing lights, one is just a vibe. If you invite people over to your room, it's just so much more of a vibe, and you can really just create your own space and create your own ambiance with that vibe. So if you are like me, where colors really affect your mood, you're gonna love this, because say you're feeling a chill vibe. One of my favorite colors is green on the color changing lights, even though I feel it's a really underrated color. I love green, and I think it really matched with my aesthetic of my room last year. But I don't know, even when you're taking Snapchats or just kind of doing anything in your room and you have those color changing lights, it just really brings you to the next level that someone who just have regular fairy lights, it's just not gonna be, they're not gonna be on your level. The next thing I would say to definitely have is one of those body pillows. Got something in my throat. One of those body pillows that goes on your bed that kind of it's not necessarily like a pregnancy body pillow where it's super long, but it has the kind of big back and a little shoulder arm resting, and it's kind of meant for you to sit up on the wall while also having the pillow on your back. That's making it so much more comfortable. And if you're gonna have any pillows on your bed, you need that. Okay, the next thing I would say to bring is Tupperware. And although I have not used this personally, I think for college it's a little bit more of a norm than boarding school, because I don't know, I don't see a lot of students taking food outside the dining hall, but I see teachers doing Tupperware, and if whatever food they cook that night is really good, teachers get their Tupperware out and they take it back to their houses on campus. But I know for college, people do this a lot, and they say to bring Tupperware into your room so that you can pack up some dining hall food and eat it later if you only got a couple meal swipes left. I don't know, but I would definitely recommend doing this, because let's be honest, most dining halls are very hit or miss. And if they have something that is a hit one night, and you're probably not going to get a hit for another couple nights, get you that Tupperware, girl, and save it in your mini fridge for a rainy day. Next thing I would recommend bringing is a small light slash like a reading light or a desk lamp, because one, you're probably gonna have a roommate and they're not gonna like want the light on. Say like they're sleeping, right, and like they're finished with their homework, but you still have work to do, or you need to read this book, and you don't want to turn on the big like overhead light for the room because it's really distracting and most people can't sleep with the light on. I would have like a small desk lamp or just a reading light in general, so that you can still finish your work without being too much of a distraction to your roommate or whoever you're rooming with, if they are kind of like funky with the lights, which most people are. Like most people can't sleep with the light on. It's very distracting and it kind of like stimulates your brain when you're trying to like be on chill mode. Next thing you need to bring is lots of towels and washcloths. And this is because there's gonna be days where you're behind on laundry and you don't want to be behind on your washcloths and towels, because sis, you need to clean yourself. Like, you need to clean yourself. And there's gonna be times, especially because like you really just run through towels, especially washcloths, like fast. Like think about it, if you are wiping those crevices that get super dirty and icky, you are not going to keep that same towel for more than a couple days before you need to replace it, and you're not going to do laundry every other day. So just have a lot of towels and washcloths that you can rotate while you have the rest of your laundry kind of sitting in the bag, because it's so easy to let laundry kind of just pile up and not do it, especially if you have a lot of clothes. But towels cannot just like, oh girl, you can't keep your towel for a whole week. Like I wouldn't recommend doing that. It will be so gross. So have a lot of towels and washcloths. I think I mentioned this in my last one, but I'm not sure if I did. You want to have a shower caddy that can be hung on a hook. And so a lot of people buy those kind of like hard shower caddies that you just kind of set down, and those are all good and all, but I would definitely recommend having one that can be hung, one that's more of a bag and has like, mine kind of had a mesh texture to it, so one that's like more soft material, because most showers are gonna have hooks on them, I think. And your room itself, you're gonna have a hook in your closet or something. So I think it's personally better to have a shower caddy that has a hook on it, because you can just hang it up, and you don't want the stuff like that you use to wash up being on the dirty floor. Like most people keep like their toothbrush or toothpaste, shampoo, their bar soap or whatever soap, like their loofah in the shower caddy, and it's gonna be touching or like basically on the floor. I don't know about y'all, that's not cute. Like I don't want my stuff touching like basically touching the floor. So I would go with one that can be hung up. I know I definitely mentioned this in my last video, but I'm repeating because it is so applicable and so important. But you need to have some type of trunk or under bed storage. This is so important, because when you're in the dorm room, it is tiny, babe. It's so tiny, and there's multiple people, like most likely multiple people in that same room, and you need to optimize your storage to the best of your ability. And one way that you can do this is with a trunk or some type of, or even those kind of those drawers, those like plastic drawers where it's kind of like they come in sets of 3s that you can like pull out. You can put on your bed if your bed's super high, but a trunk is kind of lower, so you need to have your bed like 10 feet in the air in order to like fit those like 3 drawers things. But you need somewhere to put your stuff, because you're not gonna have room, especially because in college you need to bring kind of like extra something, like you need to have extra laundry pods, extra whatever, you know. You need to just have like backups of stuff, and some stuff is just not like, you don't use it all the time for it to just be out. Like you don't need your extra sheets to just be out, whereas you can just put your extra sheets in your trunk or some type of underbed storage. And you're gonna have a lot of stuff. I wouldn't recommend bringing your whole life to college, because since you gotta go back one day, and you're gonna have to either ship that all back if you're close enough to drive, or just give it away while you're there, leave it there. But some type of underbed storage will really help you and maximize your storage, and just make sure that your room isn't super like unorganized, and that you have a place, like everything that you have has its own home and has its own place. Okay, another thing that is probably really important if your room doesn't already come with like a coat hanger is an over door hanging rack. Now this can be for your towel, or this can be for your coat or whatever. For me personally, my sophomore year, my dorm came with a coat hanger rack, but then junior year it didn't. And you know, sometimes your closet is full, or the closet they give you are oftentimes really, really small, and say your bath towel needs to be hung and you have nowhere to hang it, or you're just like, you have extra coats, like, you know, you have a jacket for one, probably got your Canada Goose for like the really cold days, or just like a light, you know, fall jacket, but you're gonna need a place for all that stuff, and jackets are really, really like thick and take up a lot of room in the closet. So just having a hanging rack that you can hang your like jackets on, or even like towels, like not wash towels but dry towels on, will just make it a lot easier for storage reasons, and also like make it easily accessible. Next, I would recommend bringing hangers. Now at my school personally, they, you know, provide hangers in some of the dorms, but there aren't like many, and you oftentimes need a lot more than they give you, because let's be real, you're there for a whole year. Even though you go home on breaks, you still have a lot of clothes that you need to bring, and the 10-12 hangers they give you is just, that's if they even give you 10-12, what, like 7 to 10 hangers they give you is just not gonna cut it. So I would bring hangers, and I personally would bring the velvet hangers, because I don't know, I think they just kind of like stack together more neatly than the plastic ones, and they don't bend out of shape as much. I mean, they kind of break if something is really heavy, but I would bring more hangers, and I would just, one, put your jeans, and I don't know, I just feel like with the velvet hangers you can lay everything like a lot more like flat than with any other type of hanger. So you probably need way more hangers than they give you in the actual closet of your dorm. Okay, next you're gonna want to bring a shoe rack. This can be put in the bottom of your closet, or also under your bed if your bed's high enough, which it probably will be, because a shoe rack is very short. Anywho, I would bring a shoe rack because oftentimes you're not really gonna have a space for your shoes, and I don't know, if you have a closet where you need to, say you have like something else like on the floor of your closet, and you have what, 10 pairs of shoes that are kind of big and bulky, a shoe rack is just going to make your storage a lot easier. The key to college dorms and the key to boarding school dorms is optimizing your space, and like, you know, really employing a lot of storage. What's the word for it? I don't know, forget what I said. Optimizing your space and really utilizing storage compartments, because like I said, like they give you a shoebox for a room to live in for a whole year, and you have to do a whole lot of living. You have to, like, you study and you sleep and sometimes eat all in the same cubicle, and it can get very unorganized if you do not have a lot of storage. So a shoe rack definitely optimizes your storage. Now I would bring laundry pods and dryer sheets, and I know that like not every like washing machine in some colleges can take laundry pods if they're like older, but I think that most washing machines can take laundry pods, and I personally would do laundry pods over the pour in laundry, because I don't know, I feel like the pour detergent can just get a lot messier than the pods themselves, and you can just bring a couple pods with you instead of having to like literally carry that entire like jug of laundry detergent down to like wherever your laundry room is, which is probably in the basement of your dorm. Let's be real here. So laundry pods, in my opinion, just make everything a lot easier, and dryer sheets definitely, because they just make it smell good. Next, I would recommend bringing some type of duffel bag or travel bag that is not a suitcase. You might have some type of trip during the school year that you actually need a bag to go on. So for my sophomore year, we all had a sophomore retreat, and that required a bag, and I had to borrow a bag from a friend because I didn't bring any type of travel bag. I only had in my suitcase and the, you know, huge bags that I came there with. But it's definitely recommended to have some type of smaller duffel or travel bag for trips that you might go on in the school year for like a week, or even just going home really quickly and you don't want to carry a big suitcase and check a bag, or your carry-on might be too small. So you want that middle size, like in between bag that you can use to travel with when you're not like going home for a break. Next, I would recommend bringing some type of raincoat or umbrella, because if you're in the New England area or the Northeast, it rains a lot, like quite literally. One, because climate change and our seasons are, you know, being destroyed, and also because a lot of colleges, and I think, hold on, a lot of boarding schools are on the East Coast, and it's very humid on the East Coast, which means it rains a lot on the East Coast. So you're gonna be walking to class with, ooh, wow, you're gonna be walking to class one day and then all of a sudden it's gonna be raining out of nowhere, and you know, you might not have time to go back to your dorm. So even just having some type of, you know, really like compact umbrella. They have really small umbrellas now that can really like bend down into really small sizes. You can keep on like the side of your backpack, or just keep a light raincoat in your dorm, so if you wake up in the morning, you have class and you recognize like, hey, it's a little bit of a drizzle outside, let me just get my raincoat. The next thing I would recommend bringing are some type of pain medication, or even just a whole first aid kit of really just like accessible over-the-counter medicine that anyone can need, like some Tylenol or Aleve or Advil. And also because there's going to be somebody else who needs some Advil at some point, like, oh my god, like I have a headache, you want some Tylenol. Like, oh my god, like my stomach hurts or my back hurts, or even just like period pains, girl. I would just recommend having some type of just accessible medicine. Now every school's rules are different, and I think that the rules can get a bit more strict when you're talking about boarding schools than colleges, because they're like, boarding schools are still, you know, filled with high schoolers. So my school especially, they're kind of like strict around what medicines you can have, or you have to have it checked by the health center. But I think that they allow like just like regular pain medication for you to just have it in your dorm. But it's just way easier to have your own Advil, have your own Aleve, have your own Tylenol, than to go to the health center every time or just ask a friend for it. Okay, now the final thing that I recommend bringing is a steamer, because I personally, I don't iron my clothes. All the clothes that are in my closet are hung up, so one, they're already kind of mitigate wrinkles in that way just by hanging them up. And then also I just don't iron it, because who has time? Who has time? Like, you probably bring an iron to school, like, oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna iron my clothes every morning, and don't. Or some places don't even allow you to have iron. Like, I don't think my school even allows us to have iron because it's a fire hazard. So a steamer is so much better in those situations, because say you have like some type of event where your clothes need to be ironed or steamed, and it's just way more portable to just have a handheld steamer that is powered by water than a whole iron and probably an ironing board. Or if yours like your laundry room has an ironing board like ours does, there's only one of them and there's probably multiple people using it, so either there's going to be a line for the ironing board, or you're just never going to make the trip to the basement to go to the ironing board. But I promise you, you will not use that iron. Like, you will bring an iron to school and you will not use it, like probably once or twice, or someone else will borrow it because they know you have an iron. But a steamer is just so much better. Okay, that is all for the video. That is what I personally think that you should pack for college and or boarding school. Now comment down below some other videos you guys want to see. I still have a lot of boarding school videos to get through, and I'm still filming my first week of school, my first week of senior year. So yeah, with that, I love you guys. I'm gonna give a video shout out because I've been slacking on my video shout outs recently, and I don't mean to. So this comment is from Angela Karanja. Hopefully I'm not mispronouncing it. She said it as a reply to the, I think the most recent video I posted, which was like boarding school tips. So if you haven't seen that video, what are you doing? Go look at it, because I gave y'all the rundown of how to survive boarding school and my biggest tips that I would give anybody. So go watch that video, and also go watch all the videos in my boarding school playlist, because that has like everything, like all the boarding school videos I talk about will be in that playlist. So Angela said, this helped me so much. I'm going to boarding school this year as an incoming freshman at, I think, Middlesex, class of 2024. So congratulations, girl. She said, you should definitely make a part 2 that includes tips on how to pack for boarding school. So I replied like, hey girl, thank you so much for the comment. I already have a video about how to pack, but I would definitely make a part 2 because I have some more advice and some more things that I feel like people should pack. So shout out to Angela. She is this video's video shout out. And once again, click that bell button so you are notified about all the new boarding school videos I will be posting, because there will be a lot. Yeah, click that subscribe button, join the fam, like this video, comment down below other videos you want to see, comment down below if you think this was helpful, and also some other things that people could pack that I didn't mention, like, I don't know, command strips, even though I mentioned that in my first video. But yeah, that is all for the video. I need to go to class, and actually I have like an hour before I go to class, but I need to do work, and with that, love you guys the most. Besitos.